It says I'm live. All right. After yesterday, I've taken this mic and cranked it from 40% to 30%. So hopefully the volume won't be blasting. Over in Studio A, I basically adjust the microphone audio on my mixer. You don't adjust it here. I go to the mixing board and I've got a slide bar, and then there's multiple audio lights: green, yellow, red. So when you're going from green to yellow, you're starting to get at a normal level. When you go from yellow into red, you're blowing somebody's eardrums out. These USB microphones that plug directly into the computer are completely different because you have your volume and your gain controls here. The control on the front is for my earphones. So no matter how I adjust the earphones, it has no control over the gain. Now, over in Studio A, as I adjust the slide bars for the audio, if I crank it down and the volume lowers in my ears, it also lowers here. This is something I've got to get used to because I'm used to the old microphones that go through a mixer and an interface. Well, these new microphones are set up for basically people on the go that they don't want to be tied down to a soundboard on a desk. They want to flip open their laptop, get ready to do some blogging and plug the microphone in, turn things on, and go. Because laptops all have built-in cameras. So open the lid, plug the mic in, turn it on, adjust, voila. So it's something I've got to get used to. And then once I get the gain on the microphone set, now this here is for your spatial adjustment. Uh, Basically meaning now, do I want the microphone strictly picking up my speech from the front? Do I have someone sitting across from me so I, go to setting 2 where it picks up both people? Or I go to setting 3, which would be like a round table, or setting 4 would be like an auditorium where if somebody out in the audience asks a question, the mic will pick it up. I have this set right now for auditorium. I'm experimenting with that setting. Or no, do what? No, I got Am I auditorium or am I round table? I'm auditorium. So we'll see. Also, I just realized we were going to test the snowball tonight. So I guess we'll test the snowball tomorrow. And one thing I discovered when my friend sent me this microphone, it was like this. And I thought that's the way it is. No. This tripod unscrews and this mic will mount into the shock mount. Or this extender also unscrews and it goes even deeper into the shock mount. So and I mentioned in the email my buddy, and I said, I just discovered that this will go into a shock mount. He says, didn't I send you the shock mount? I said, well, I wouldn't have mentioned, discovering if I had the shock mount, I would have just. So he goes into his den and looks in the. He's got a bureau in the den, or a break front or something. I can't. It's an antique that belonged to basically his grandmother, and sure enough, in the bottom of the drawer where he kept most of his equipment was another shock mount. So he told me he had to go out today, so he went up to the post office and put it in the mail to me. So I will have I will have another shock mount here in a couple of days, and we'll mount the old snowball and give it a try. Okay, before we get into the inconsiderate never ends, I realized that when I was at Mark's yesterday, I forgot a couple of things. Now I make out a list. You would think that, well, the things that I forgot to put on the list. So this morning I'm sitting reading emails, and all of a sudden it was like, you forgot X, Y, and Z yesterday at Mark's. So I immediately made a list. And then after I finished, reading my emails and reading some news websites, I realized, oh, besides X, Y, and Z, there was A, B, and C that I needed. So I put that on the list and I immediately folded it up and put it in my pocket. So I go up to the store and they had all but one item. So I decided basically, since I was there, I would pick up some more ginger ale. Now, I've gotten hooked on Seagram's ginger ale. For years, I drank either Schweppes or Werner's. Now, Werner's is a strong ginger ale because it's basically aged in a barrel. And it was the only ginger ale that my grandfather ever drank. Well, 2 weeks ago, I just happened to look over and I said, "Oh, some Schweppes ginger ale. I haven't had ginger ale in quite a while." And I grabbed 2 or 3 liter bottles. And still not paying attention. I have a jug that I keep on my nightstand because I get dry mouth something fierce all day. That's why I'm slugging down coffee, and at night I've got my ginger ale. So I pour it in my jug with the ice, put the bottle in the fridge because I've got one of those dorm refrigerators that I bought at a scratch and dent salvage place. And it stands about maybe 3.5 foot tall, and it's got a nice freezer in the top. It's a mini fridge, not like a lot of those dorm refrigerators are little cubes. This is an actual mini fridge, and for the price that I got it for, I couldn't beat it. The only thing that really irritated me was a week after I bought this fridge, he got a shipment of scratch and dent mini fridges that were retro style, like the old. And I will remember this because my grandmother had one. The old Frigidaires, with the fancy doors, and they put the chrome on them with a trowel. And they were all in colors. He had red, green, blue, black, white. And had of course I had no idea that he was getting these in, and neither did he. I'd have waited, but that's neither here nor there. I'm off the subject. So the next night, I put the ice in my jug, and I pull out the the liter bottle, and just as I'm starting to fill my jug, I noticed the label doesn't say Schweppes. It says Seagram's. I actually like this ginger ale better than I like Seagram's, and I drank Seagram's, God, 50 years. Or Schweppes. Did I say Seagram's? I'm now drinking Seagram's. So, I'm up at Mark's, and I had grabbed a couple of liter bottles, and as I'm walking down the end of the aisle, here's a display of 2 liter bottles, and there's 2 liter bottles of Schweppes. Now I'm figuring the 2 liter bottles are going to be somewhat close to the price of 2 single-liter bottles. Now, in 8 different places in the store at Mark's, they have a price checking. It scans the barcodes. So matter of fact, there happened to be one right at the end of the aisle where the 2-liter bottles were. I was like, yeah, let me see how much this is. I scan it and it comes up item not found. I'm thinking, bad scanner. I walk down to the other end of the store, scan the bottle again, item not found. Now, I have been in Marks before when most of these scanners haven't worked. So I go up to the front of the store by the lunch meat. Item not found. I said, screw it. I put the 1 liter bottles back on the shelf and I kept the 2 liter, figuring, all right, it's going to be a little cheaper than. So I only had 6 items. So I went up to the service desk and I put all my items up. And the last item was this 2 liter bottle of ginger ale. And I says to her, I says, I wanted to do a price check. I says, throughout the store, all the scanners are saying item not found. So you might have to call somebody. She blips it and she goes, oh, it's on sale. $1.99. No, I'm already checked out. There's people in line behind me. I don't feel like going to because for 99 cents, I was going to go back and get 5 more. Guess where I'm going tomorrow? Grumpy can't win. So, as I'm exiting the store, what is in front of me? A cart jam. You know, these ignorant goddamn people that can't take and push their cart aside really piss me off. And, I don't know why I let it get to my blood pressure. But Jesus Christ, people. Of course, I come from a different generation. And I'm going to quit harping on, that I quit, I come from a different. You mean to tell me from me growing up in the 50s and, getting married and owning a house in the 70s, that generations from, say, the 70s have changed that goddamn much that people are assholes? They are. Inconsiderate SOBs. All right. Now we're getting into my saga. Now, any of you that listened yesterday know that, my son is running a homeless shelter here. His buddy's been here a week. Talk about inconsiderate. Now, I'll admit, I am very OCD about certain things. One of the items I'm very OCD about is closing the fucking lid on the toilet. And it goes back to basically when Boots was a kitten. Now, I finally broke him of the habit, but every now and then especially if the lid to the toilet's open. From a kitten, he had this routine. If you put down anything with water, his water bowl, you left the toilet open, his feet would be like rapid fire. And he'd be splashing the fucking water out. I don't know how many times I come out in the kitchen and there was water everywhere. Or somebody would be ignorant, like I'm running into now, leaving the toilet open and go in the bathroom, and there would be water fucking everywhere because Boots had this thing. I never saw a cat that had this thing for water. Now, it took a long time, but I finally broke him of that habit. But every now and then, if the temptation is there, he decides he's going to go back to his kitten years and so I'm going to put up with this. Total inconsiderate person. Then, Boots likes to, and it's cute as hell, but 2, 3, 4 in the morning, the big fat ass will get up on my chest and do happy feet. And he'll be nuzzling my cheeks, showing me some love. But I don't want it at 3 in the morning. So this morning, it was like between 4 and 4:30, he decides to wake up, Dad, wake up, wake up. Now my bedroom door is cracked about like that, and I can see a light on in the bathroom. All right. I'm up all hours of the night, so I doze off. And at 5:30 in the morning, now Boots is laying next to me, and he decides he's going to do happy feet. So I happen to glance over to my left, and I see the bathroom light is on. Okay, possibly somebody's in the bathroom again. I get up at 8 o'clock. Door is wide open, and the fucking light is on. So the bathroom light has been on since 4 o'clock in the morning. And every time he exits, he leaves the fucking light on. So, on the cabinet above the toilet, I have a sign that says, "Respect the old man's OCD." It's not in focus. That looks better. Respect the old man's OCD ways. Put the seat lid down. Then above the light switch, will be this sign tonight. Turn off light or help pay the bill. If I was a guest in someone's house The last thing I would do is be freaking inconsiderate. That's almost as bad as Dale's ex-girlfriend. Now, on a roll of toilet paper, some people like under and some people like over. I myself prefer over. I like to pull my toilet paper from the top. She would flip it because she liked it under. That's a lot of goddamn nerve to go into someone's bathroom and set the toilet paper the way you fucking like it. And if she would, if it come in late after I went to bed, in the morning I knew she was here. And with that, boys and girls, we'll continue the saga tomorrow because there's more. But I'm running it almost half an hour. Bye-bye.